Welcome back to Purpose Before Performance. My name is Zivia, and this space is about discipline, intention, and building work that lasts. Today's guest is Tariq Muhammed, self-published author of Just Ice. This conversation is about purpose, process, and showing up with clarity before chasing outcomes. Let's get into it. Welcome to Purpose Before Performance.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Thank you for being on the podcast. We appreciate your time. Let's just get right into it.
Yes, ma'am.
For listeners just meeting you, who are you and what compelled you to write this book?
Okay, I'm Tariq Muhammed, and it's a couple of footprints that really inspired me to write the book. It started with family members who have hustled, and I had a few friends that also did the same thing, and they had compelling stories. So I, basically was just talking to them and saying that they should write some type of book about it because the stories were so fascinating. And I was told, I could not write this book, so I need somebody else to write it. So you write it, is what I was told. So I brushed it off, and I was talking to a second person about the same stories and how I suggested that person write a book. And they were like, well, why don't you write it? And it happened to a third person I spoke to, and they said the same thing. I believe in numbers. And I was like, that's a third footprint. So, okay, maybe I'll try to write it. I had no aspirations of being a writer. In that sense, I was more of a poetry writing person. But so I began writing the stories, and it just kept coming to me. And that was the inspiration for it.
Why this story and why now?
The story, I am a person who watches a lot of mafia movies, and I'm always left kind of disappointed in our movies, in the black movies, how we portray ourselves and how there's very little togetherness. It's a lot of separation, a lot of envy. And those who were best friends or brothers, they usually end up pitting against one another. And I wanted to tell a different story. I wanted to tell a different side of those that have come into the game and realize and have a goal to get out of it. And they stick together and they make it happen. So that was my angle to the story. And there was a lot of things that I wanted to do differently. So, and now is because it just happened to, didn't really want to publish, so I didn't mean to publish. I just wanted to write the story. But then when I entered a contest in 2023, Black Writing Contest, for chapter 1 contest, I won first place. And I was like, okay, maybe there's something to this. So I entered I sent the manuscript to the editor, and I got good feedback. And so I guess I started building my confidence as I went on. So I was like, okay, let me put it out and see what happens.
Before you started writing, did you have a clear purpose, or did it reveal itself along the way?
Along the way, yes. I did not. That was not my purpose. I just wanted to a different story from a different. I wanted to show that you can take care of your people and take care of your neighborhood in a positive way. So that is a story I wanted to tell. And also the characters are very different. Very different.
What was the deeper intention behind the book beyond finishing it or publishing it?
I guess to show that, because my character is based on really 4 main characters of the crew. And that's Ice, which is the leader, and his best friend, B. And also they have the first lady of the crew, which is Trina, and Ice's brother, J Deuce, which is more their security and their muscle, if you will. So I wanted to show that because the women in my book are very empowered, and I did not want them to take a back seat. I was raised by women, so I wanted to show the strength of women and how the men in the crew refuse to allow anyone to disrespect the women in the crew. Like, it's just a different wrinkle to it, and I thought that was fresh.
Was there a moment when the why of the book became clearer than the how?
It was, I think that I would say the entering the contest that I won in 2023, because I delayed entering my first chapter until maybe 30 minutes before the deadline. I just sat on it and I self-doubted, but I didn't know whether or not I really wanted to take the next level. So yes, I sat there, and then I was also, my therapist encouraged me to just enter it. You know, you're sitting on something that you love, just enter it and see what type of feedback. It can't hurt. This is something that you love. So yeah, that was the pinnacle moment for me, that the light went on. Like, okay, this is something.
Were there moments when emotion got in the way of finishing the book?
Oh, most definitely. Like in 2023, late 22, I had a lot of deaths that basically set me down, and I had no aspirations to finish the book. And I'm glad I was in therapy, because at the time, like after each passing, my therapist we would work through the whole process of just realigning my whole thoughts so that I can get back and start writing again. And each time it was more like a 3 or 4 month time when I did not want to touch a book. So, you know, those, I want to say, obstacles kind of helped me reset every time. And like I said, that, thank God I was in therapy, because that was major for me.
Did committing to the purpose of the book help you work through emotional blocks?
Yes, because I felt like the story needed to be told. I wanted to show something different, and I was tired of being frustrated, like I said, of watching our movies and our shows, and pretty much you can guess what's going to happen at the end. I wanted to do the total opposite of that. I wanted to keep the reader always guessing to what's next, and have you kind of going back and forth even on some of the characters, because you love them and sometimes you're gonna hate them. But I wanted to give the reader something that they're not normally seeing, and it's not predictable.
What did writing this book teach you about responsibility to yourself or your story?
That you'll never know unless you put it out there. Like I said, I did not know how the book would be received. I just knew that I wrote it, and then when I was going through editing, I would sit back and say to myself, like, geez, this is good. What was I thinking about this time? Like, how did I put this together? So once I finally got it published and out, and the feedback has been tremendous. And I don't want to say shocking because I saw it, but to see that other people are seeing it similar, that's satisfying, I would say.
How did you stay intentional instead of reactive during the writing or editing process?
To be told, through therapy, because I had a lot of self-doubt. Like I said, I dealt with life's obstacles and had to be reset and repurposed and refocused every time something came about, because I self-published. So there were a lot of obstacles or things that I did not learn. I had to learn on the job, so to speak. And I just stayed committed. Once I got it published, I was like, okay, I'm going through with everything to put it out and see what type of reception that I receive.
That was Tariq Muhammed. Take what resonated, apply it with intention, and keep building what lasts. Remember, purpose is your power. I'll see you in the next episode.